As you can recall, we have so far discussed some of the fundamental features of the op-amp. When we said what is an op-amp, what are its characteristics, ideal as well as practical, what is the circuit diagram, the insides of the op-amp in terms of the building blocks, and also we discussed the concept of virtual ground. Now, in this session, we will discuss some of the linear applications of the op-amp. Now, what do I mean by linear applications? Applications in which the output will be a constant K multiplied by the input. So, essentially what will happen? These will be amplifier circuits. And what is the essential characteristic of an amplifier? The most essential characteristic of an amplifier is that it provides the gain, and an equally important or more important feature is what you call as fidelity. What is fidelity? Fidelity is faithful reproduction of the input signal. Not only should the output be magnified, the output should also be having all the variations that the input has, and in the same way. So that is called as fidelity, a faithful reproduction of the input. So for fidelity, therefore, you need that the output will be a linear function of the input, actually a constant K times the input. So we'll be looking at such applications wherein the op-amp behaves as a linear device. Now, where do we start with? We start with the inverting amplifier. What is the inverting amplifier? An inverting amplifier is one which amplifies the signal present at the inverting input. Therefore, the output will be 180 degrees out of phase compared to the input. The signal to be amplified, this is the circuit diagram. As you can see, the positive terminal or the non-inverting terminal is grounded. The input terminal Vin is the inverting terminal. Here I have given a voltage Vin. Can be DC as well as AC. This is the input impedance, pretty large Rin. Therefore, a small In flows into the resistor. This is the summing point, which I have marked as X, also called as the virtual ground. Now, what happens? Whenever we analyze any op-amp circuit, we make the generalizing simplification that no current flows through the op-amp, and this point X is at zero potential. So what happens now? So you give a Vin, no current flows through the amplifier. I am assuming the gain to be infinity. Therefore, what happens? All the current that flows in will also flow through the output resistor or the feedback resistor. So if I out is the output current, then you can use Ohm's law here. Vin minus Vx should be the voltage impressed. So the current In that flows as a result is Vin minus Vx by Rin. Since all of this current flows into the output as If, if you calculate If, then If is potential at X minus potential at this point, the output. So Vx minus Vout by Rf. This is the potential difference. Vx minus Vout is the potential difference between these 2 points. So the current should be Vd by Rf, Ohm's law. So, and since no current flows through the op-amp, In should be equal to If, and Vx is 0. Therefore, the input current In is Vin minus 0 by Rin. Similarly, the output current is 0 minus Vout by Rf. In equals If. So essentially what happens? You cross multiply, you find that Vout by Vin will be equal to Rf by Rin. V out by V in, as we know, is the gain of the amplifier. Call it A, call it AV, whatever you want. So AV then is equal to minus RF by Rin. So in an inverting amplifier, the gain of the amplifier is controlled only by the externally connected resistances RF and Ri. So gain is determined by the ratio RF by Rin, and no other parameter affects the gain of this negative feedback amplifier. I'll go through the calculations once again. You just look at the diagram. We make the simplifying assumption potential at X is 0 and no current flows through the op amp because gain is infinite. Gain is infinite, therefore the input voltage V difference is 0. So as far as In is concerned, it is Vin minus Vx divided by Rin, Ohm's law. Similarly, since all the current flows through RF and into the output terminal, so the current IF is equal to In, and that current IF is given by potential at Vx minus Vout divided by RF. Again Ohm's law. But Vx is 0. If you substitute Vx here, Vin by minus 0 by Rin is equal to 0 minus Vout by RF. So you cross multiply, then Vout by Vin is equal to minus RF by Rin. The left hand side represents AV, the gain of the amplifier. So the gain of the amplifier is simply set by the ratio of the resistances RF by Rin. So what can we say about the inverting amplifier? The inverting amplifier, the input is in the inverting amplifier, the input is present at the inverting terminal. Therefore, the output that is produced is 180 degrees out of phase. And the gain of the amplifier is simply given by the ratio RF by Rin. Okay. Now we can move on to the other configuration, which is the non-inverting amplifier. So what do we do in this case? In the case of the non-inverting amplifier, we give the input to be amplified at the positive or the non-inverting terminal. So when you give it at the non-inverting terminal, the signal is amplified, but there is no phase difference. So how do we analyze this circuit? We simply analyze this circuit by taking again the assumptions that at the summing point, I have marked it as A here. I have deviated from the conventions. I marked it as A here. Whichever name you call it by, this summing point is the virtual ground and it is always at 0 potential. So here, this is RF, this is Ri. As you know, RF by Ri sets the gain of the amplifier. It sets up the gain. Now what is happening? This is V out. This is the input signal V in. Now what happens? This end is grounded. So at the virtual ground, VA is the potential. Since gain is assumed to be infinity, the input signal should be 0. Therefore, what happens? VB should also be equal to 0. Sorry. Yeah, VA is equal to VB. VB is equal to, therefore, Vin. So, if VB is equal to Vin, then what happens? If you look at it from the output side, you have I, which is, if you can observe here, the current flowing in this loop, that is the feedback portion. The current I is given by the voltage V0, because now current is flowing in this direction. V0 is positive, this is 0. So current flows in this direction. So this is the higher potential. So V0 minus VA by RF, that should be the current I. Since this is at the ground potential and no current is taken up by the op amp, the same current I should also flow through R1 to the ground. Now, how does the current go? The output current I flows in this direction. Output current I therefore is given by V0 minus VA by RF. The same current should also flow through the input resistor Ri. So that is VA minus 0 by R1. So I is equal to V0 minus VA by RF. If you look at it from the output side, and if you look at it from the inverting terminal, it is, now what happens to this equation? V0 minus VA. VA is the potential here, assumed to be virtual ground. But ಇಲ್ಲೇನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ನೀವು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಇನ್ಪುಟ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಇದು VN ಗೆ ಸಮ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಇದು VN ಗೆ ಸಮ ಆದರೆ I ಅನ್ನೋದು V0 by Vin minus RF ಅಂತ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಇನ್ವರ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಟರ್ಮಿನಲ್ ಕಡೆ ನೀವು ನೋಡೋದಾದ್ರೆ, ಈಗ ಇನ್ವರ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಟರ್ಮಿನಲ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ VA minus 0 by R1 should be the current, and these two currents are equal. VA minus 0 by Rin. So therefore, Vin by R1 ಅಂತ ಆಯ್ತು. Vin by R1 ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ? The entire current now passes through as the input current of the input current, as the current consumed by the op amp is 0. So equating these two terminals, V0 minus Vin by RF is equal to Vin by R1 ಅಂತ ಆಯ್ತು. ಇದು ಔಟ್ಪುಟ್ ಸೈಡ್, ಇದು ಇನ್ಪುಟ್ ಸೈಡ್. ಸೊ V0 by RF is equal to, ಈ Vin by RF ಅನ್ನ ಬಲಗಡೆಗೆ ತಗೊಳ್ಳಿ. V0 by RF is equal to Vin by RF plus Vin by R1. So V0 by RF is equal to Vin ಅನ್ನು ನೀವು ಕಾಮನ್ ತಗೊಂಡ್ರೆ 1 by RF ಆಗತ್ತಿದು. ಸೊ 1 by RF plus 1 by R1 ಅಂತ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ LCM ತಗೊಂಡು ಸಿಂಪ್ಲಿಫೈ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ Vin into R1 plus RF by R1 plus RF ಅಂತ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ therefore V0 by Vin ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರೆ ಅವಾಗ ಈ RF ಮಲ್ಟಿಪ್ಲೈ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ ಇದನ್ನ. ಸೊ R1 RF plus RF RF divided by R1 RF simplifies to R1 plus RF by R1. So when it simplifies to R1 plus RF by R1, if you look at the V0 by Vi ratio, it defines the gain AV. So the gain AV is equal to 1 plus RF by Ri. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಗ್ರಾಫ್ ಪ್ಲಾಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದೆ. This is the input voltage, and what you see below that is the output voltage. Output you may find is slightly higher than input. ಸೊ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಮ್ಯಾಗ್ನಿಫೈ ಆಗಿದೆ. ನೀವು ಹೊರಟಾಗಿ ನೋಡಿದ್ರೆ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗದೇ ಇರ್ಬೋದು. ಗಮನಿಸಿ, ಈ ಒಂದು ಪೀಕ್ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂಗಿಂತ ಈ ಪೀಕು ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇದೆ. ಸೊ ಆಂಪ್ಲಿಫಿಕೇಶನ್ ಆಗಿದೆ. ರಿಯಲ್ ನಂಬರ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನು ತಗೊಂಡು ಪ್ಲಾಟ್ ಮಾಡಿರೋ ಥರ ಇದೆ, ಯಾಕಂದರೆ ಗ್ರಾಫ್ ಶೀಟ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಪ್ಲಾಟ್ ಆಗಿದೆ. ಸಿನ್ಸ್ ದಿ ಇನ್ಪುಟ್ ವಾಸ್ ಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟ್ ಅಟ್ ದಿ ನಾನ್ ಇನ್ವರ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಟರ್ಮಿನಲ್, ಟು ಫೈಂಡ್ ದಟ್ ದೇ two signals, that is the input and output, they are in phase. So as far as a non-inverting amplifier is concerned, the input is given at the non-inverting terminal, the signal gets amplified but without any phase reversal. If V0 is the output voltage, Vin the input voltage, V0 by Vin defines the gain of the amplifier, and it can be shown that the gain is equal to 1 plus RF by Ri. So even here gain is determined by the ratio RF by Ri, but you also have this factor of 1 coming in. Then how do these two circuits compare? If you look at comparing these two types of circuits, you find here that the voltage gain here for the ideal non-inverting amplifier is equal to minus RF by Ri, and for the non-inverting amplifier it is 1 plus RF by Ri. So there is a possibility that if you make RF 0, voltage gain can become 0, But for the non-inverting amplifier, because this factor of 1 is there, the gain is never equal to 0. The output is inverted with respect to the input for the ideal inverting amplifier. Here, for the non-inverting, there is no phase difference between the input and the output. The voltage gain can be adjusted as greater than, equal to, or less than 1. ನೀವು RF ಅನ್ನು ಕಮ್ಮಿ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ R1 ಗೆ ಅರ್ಧ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ gain half ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. So instead of magnifying, you can diminish the signal. 0 ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ vanish ಆಯಿತು, gain ಇಲ್ಲ. There is nothing. And you can also adjust the ratio RF by RI to be greater than 1, which is what you would have done in your practical classes. So here in the non-inverting case, the gain is always going to be more than 1. The input impedance in the case of the inverting amplifier is equal to R1, but the input impedance in the case of the non-inverting amplifier, you can calculate and show, is extremely large. So then we come to a circuit that is pretty similar to the ones that we have discussed, which is the summing amplifier. The syllabus clearly says that it is a negative summing amplifier. Therefore, it is clear that we give the input to the inverting terminal. So what do we do here? In this op amp, I have come to this convention of calling the summing point as G. I will stick to this convention from now on. So G is the summing point, which is the virtual ground. Here you have the feedback resistor. Now what happens? I will give different inputs V1, V2 and V3 through resistances R1, R2 and R3. I have shown them as R in here because ultimately I wanted to make them all equal. So now what is happening? Because of this virtual ground, every resistor is treated as an independent input. One ground is real ground. ಅಲ್ಲಿಂಗೆ source connect ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ ಮತ್ತು source positive ತಗೊಂಬಂದು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬಂದಿರುತ್ತೆ, which is the virtual ground. ಈ ಮೂರು ಸಹ independent inputs ಆಗಿ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡುತ್ತವೆ. A is the gain of the amplifier. The positive terminal is grounded. This is where you get the output. I could have actually shown you the pin diagram also here. In most of the books that I saw, pin diagram was not given, so I just kept quiet. Now what we can do is, I can tell you what are the pins. As you know, this is 2, the inverting terminal. This will be 3, the non-inverting terminal. This will be 6, the output voltage. Here you will get 4 VCC minus. Here I may show 7, which is VCC plus. This is what you would have done in your practicals. So now what is it that is happening? There are 3 currents coming in to the input point G. What are those currents? I1, which is V1 by R1, I2, which is V2 by R2, and I3, which is V3 by R3. Now what happens? All these 3 currents are coming into the point G. The op amp does not assume any current, does not take any current, because gain is infinity. It takes no current. It has an infinite input impedance, assuming the ideal characteristic. So enaito, all these currents are now flowing through RF into the output. Therefore, if you call this current as IF, then what happens? IF is equal to VG minus V0 by RF. And what are these currents? I1, I2, I3, V1 by R1, V2 by R2, V3 by R3. So, as VG is 0, we find V1, we now make all resistors as equal and call them as R. We have 1 by R into V1 plus V2 plus V3. This is equal to minus V0 by R. Why minus V0 by R? This current IF is Vg minus V0 by R. Vg is 0, so minus V0 by RF. RF ಅನ್ನು ಕೂಡ ನಾನು R ಅಂತಲೇ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ. So V0 by R, this R cancels with this R. So V1 plus V2 plus V3 is equal to minus V0. So if you put 3 resistors, connect through them 3 separate inputs to the op-amp, then you find that the output produced will be negative of the sum of the input voltages. You forget the fact that it is negative because we are connecting it anyway to the negative terminal. We simply say this op-amp now functions as an adder of inputs, voltages here. Now what happens if you don't make these resistances equal? Then each current will be something different, and whatever that ratio is, that would become the sum. On the other hand, what you can also do is, here you, as you see, I made the input resistance as well as output resistance to be equal. On the other hand, if you keep this output resistance R as something other than R, ಇದನ್ನು ನಾವು RF ಅಂತಲೇ ಉಳಿಸ್ಕೊಂಡು ಆ RF ಅನ್ನೋದು R ಗಿಂತ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಅಂತ ಅನ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರೆ, ಸಪೋಸ್ 1:2 ಇದ್ರೆ ಅವಾಗೇನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಈ ವೋಲ್ಟೇಜ್ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ ಸಮ್ಮು, ಈ ಸಮ್ಮು not only becomes the sum, but it also gets multiplied by a non-zero constant. 2f ಇದು RF ಅನ್ನೋದು, RF ಅಂತ ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಬರೀಬಹುದು ನಾನು. ಒಂದು ನಿಮಿಷ. If I write this as RF, then you can also set a constant K with which this sum gets multiplied. In such a case, you say it is not only being added, it is also getting multiplied by a constant K given by RF by Ri. In such a case, you call it as a voltage scalar. You have scaled up the voltage not just to the sum, you have also multiplied it by a constant. If the sum ultimately happens to be 10 and K becomes 2, then the output voltage you get will be 20 volts. So suppose K goes negative, then what happens? As it is in this case, K is negative because you have minus V0 here. If on the other hand, you had connected it to the non-inverting terminal, then you would have got RF plus Ri plus 1. Even then, such a scalar can be constructed. So essentially, what is the thing of importance here? By connecting different voltages through resistances to the op-amp, we can have a adder circuit. Here, all the inputs are given to the negative terminal, so the voltages will be added, but there will also be a phase difference of 180 between the sum and the input voltages. Any number of such resistors you can connect. Okay, so this completes the discussion of 3 of the op-amp circuits: the inverting amplifier, the non-inverting amplifier, and the summer. In the next session, we can go for integrator and differentiator. Although the integrator and differentiator appear to be different from the summing amplifiers and inverting non-inverting amplifiers that we have seen, even they are linear circuits, because as you will see, we will integrate the output, and if in case the output goes above Vs minus and Vs plus, that is supply voltages, there will be a cutoff when the shape of the signal will be changed. You don't want the shape of the signal to be changed, so the entire voltage range, you keep it linear. So op-amp differentiators and integrators are also linear circuits. We can take up the study of those circuits in the coming session. For now, we can stop here. Thanks and bye. Thank you.